Howdy! Very quick video from me this afternoon. Rob Wheatley, Robboland's vids, all of that, you know that because it says it somewhere over there. And I'm saying goodbye to one of my guitars this afternoon in a few hours. It's going to a new home and I couldn't be happier actually. One of my students, great lad, who's been having lessons with me for since about January, so about 8 months, and he's doing really well. Really good kid, top lad, really enthusiastic about his music, always wanting to learn new stuff, and that's, I mentioned in other videos, when people are that enthused, that enthuses me. And I mentioned, I think, on my last walkabout video that I had a Washburn D25 SN that I was going to give away. And one of the problems with it, it's got a couple of problems. One of the problems is that I basically rescued this from the trash. One of the problems is there's a bit of the bracing here needs re-gluing. I can't do it because I haven't got anything that's going to get in there and see it and all that, but that's all that needs. The end pin here is going to need someone with an arm getting in there and twisting it and making sure that's fixed properly. And the tuners are not fantastic on there. I've replaced them with whatever was lying around. And I think these are actually inline tuners, 6 inline, so some of them turn that way and some of them turn that way, etc. But they work and they hold in tune. The main problem I had with it was that it dropped a while ago and the neck seemed twisted and this top E string seemed to be completely out. I've had this on another guitar before where somewhere above the 5th or 7th fret it just goes completely out because the neck's twisted. I did wonder at the time, because this had old botched strings, because it was basically rescued from the rubbish, whether it was going to be, whether new strings would sort it out or not, or at least partially, because it was very badly out. But I had a suspicion that it might not have been all that bad. Now I've promised this guitar to my student Joey, and he's coming over at 5 o'clock this afternoon. He's going to have a lesson with me and we're going to do some blues and some slide guitar and some he wants to get into some sort of C6 Steve style stuff and whatever else, but he always knows that whatever I think is a good idea is going to be the idea we go with. I'm in charge, I'm the boss, I'm the one getting paid for it. If he called the shots, I'll be paying him. But I've just restrung this. I just went into town this morning and bought some very crappy cheap strings, because I thought if the guitar is hardly playable or whatever and he's going to be using it for slide and open tuning, you know, in case the guitar turns out to be an absolute dog. Anyway, I threw some new strings on it, which were just these, very cheap as chips, PV acoustic 11s, which is funny because it says, "From the winding country roads of Mississippi come our new phosphor bronze wound acoustic guitar strings. From the winding country roads of Mississippi. Made in China." That must be Mississippi, China. They sure don't mean the Yangtze. Winding country roads along. Anyway, so I bunged a set of those on because they were cheap. They were £5 a set, and that was what they had in the shop. Now, I just restrung it. I put some new shiny ferrules on here because the old plastic ones were ropey and all that. And what I found was, here's the top E string. Now before, with the other strings on, when you played the 12th fret harmonic you'd get that, and when you played the fretted 12th fret you'd get something like that. Now, with new strings, there's a 12th fret harmonic, and there's nothing wrong with this guitar. There's nothing wrong with it. This guy's going to get a really nice guitar. This was in its day, so D25 SN Washburn. Very nice bit of kit. You can tell because they wouldn't bother putting all this rubbish and the nice 5-piece neck and the nice carvy bit at the top and all this on, and quite interesting woods as well, which does make a difference because it's an acoustic on something like this. So goodbye old guitar. You've done me well for a year or two. I've had some fun on this, written a couple of tunes. Now it's time to pass it on and give it a new lease of life to someone who's really going to enjoy it. This kid's been learning electric guitar with me for the last 8 months. I've wanted to give him an acoustic guitar for a while, and I could not be happier that this one's going to a new home and it's going to go to someone who's really going to appreciate it, who's going to learn on it, and I'm sure they're going to love it. Fantastic. Isn't life wonderful when things like that happen? Top stuff. I'll see you on the next video. Take care, good people, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.